Hi, everybody. It's Debra from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is called Christmas Puppies. Are you truly ready for the responsibility? At this time of year, there are children all over the world begging for a puppy. And as much as that can be super exciting and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, not only for the kid, but for the family and especially for the puppy, you do have to consider whether your family is ready for a puppy, whether you're ready for a puppy, whether your kids are ready for the puppy, whether you can afford the puppy, do you have time for the puppy, all these sorts of things. Now, if you have been here before, you know that I own a website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com. I'm going to give you links to that in the description box. And often on this YouTube channel, we do all kinds of videos about puppy training and about dog training. And I always recommend Doggy Dan, who is the owner of a dog training website called theonlinedogtrainer.com. I'll give you the links to him in the description box. I am an affiliate for Doggy Dan, which means if anybody buys the puppy training or the dog training programs through Doggy Dan, I get a small commission. And by the way, I do donate 10% of those commissions to animal charities. So I am an affiliate for Doggy Dan. So Doggy Dan sends me updates on everything he's doing. Well, we just got an update yesterday from Doggy Dan. I received this via email, and it is his latest blog post called Christmas Puppies, Are You Truly Ready for the Responsibility? And so I just wanted to go ahead and give you a video about this because I want to go over some of the things that Doggy Dan talks about, but I'm also going to give you some of the resources from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. So in today's video, we're going to talk about, are you ready for a puppy? We're going to talk about what kind of puppy you should get. Well, I'm going to give you resources for what kind of puppy you should get, covering your puppy's expenses, getting a list of things that you need to do and have for the puppy before you get the puppy. And then I'm also going to give you a link to Doggy Dan's Perfect Puppy Program, which is a step-by-step video puppy training program that is super inexpensive, okay? So if you'll stay tuned with me, we're going to cover a lot in this video, and I'm going to give you a lot of resources, and I will link anything that we're talking about in this video in the description box. So again, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you visiting. Now, like I say, this is a blog post from Doggy Dan. We're going to go over some of the points in this in Doggy Dan's article, which I'm sorry, but I always say the best dog advice you can get is from a professional dog trainer. Doggy Dan is not only a professional dog trainer, he's also a behavioral specialist. So I just really consider him an authority on anything having to do with dogs. Now, as we said, it's a beautiful picture to, you know, have the kids begging for a puppy and you're fantasizing about their little faces when they're so delighted to see the puppy under the tree. And that's all great. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. And by the way, this video is not intended to discourage you from getting a puppy. Quite the opposite, really. It's just intended to help you to think it through, be ready for the puppy, make sure that you're ready for the puppy, and to make sure that it's the right decision, okay? Now, first of all, dogs are a 10 or 15 year or more commitment. Most dog breeds live between 10 and 15 years. Some live longer. Dogs can live up to 17 or even 20 years. So when you get a dog, it's a commitment. It's not just you know, a couple of years or the first year, well, it's fun and that's it. So first of all, you have to realize that getting a puppy is a 10 to 15 year commitment minimally, okay? There are things that you need to consider, you know, not only what do I need for a new puppy, but what do I need to sustain this dog's entire life? You know, what is this dog going to need when he's a year old? What is this dog going to need when he's 6 or 7 years old? What's this dog going to need when he's 10 years old and he's starting to age? You know, what is this dog going to need on a daily basis? What is he going to need on a monthly basis, on an annual basis? You know, really got to think about the whole span of the dog's entire life, which is likely to range between 10 and 15 years, sometimes longer. Also, dogs are not disposable. You know, it's not okay to get a dog and enjoy them for a couple of years while your kids are young and while the puppy's young and isn't that great, and then to decide that it's too much work. You didn't understand how much work it was going to be. Nobody wants to walk the dog. Nobody wants to feed the dog. And one of the biggest problems, I think, is nobody bothers to get dog training. Nobody bothers to know how to train the puppies. So, a lot of dogs are adopted by families sometimes at Christmas time. And then, a month or 2 or 6 months later or a year later, they're put out to the dog house, or else they're dropped back off at a shelter because nobody trained the dog. The dog is peeing on the carpet. He's chewing up everybody's furniture. He's chewing up everybody's shoes. He's barking all the time. He's doing all these things. Well, a lot of times people aren't getting the help with dog training that they need so that they can have a well-behaved puppy that is going to grow into a well-behaved dog. And that's a really important piece of it, that, first of all, people don't realize how often dogs need to be walked and how much they need to be let outside, how much they need interaction. They need to have a life. They need to play. They need to go for walks. They need to, spend time with you. If you have a full-time job and you're at the office 12 hours a day, it's probably not a good idea for you to get a dog, So a lot of times people just don't realize the commitment. They don't realize the work. And like I say, I think one of the biggest issues is dog training. They don't know how to housebreak the puppy. And so the dog ends up causing all these problems. And unfortunately, it's the puppy that ends up suffering for it because the people who got the dog weren't being responsible and preparing themselves for the puppy. So again, dogs are not disposable. You can't just get one, try it out, and then when you get aggravated, you drop the puppy back off at the shelter. It's not okay. So you got to consider, are you willing to take full responsibility for this dog, for everything he needs? And that's going to include daily care, and that's going to include effective training. Okay? For example, if you have plans to travel the world, if you're starting a career where you're going to be in the office 12 hours a day, if you're starting a family, you're going to have a new baby a year from now, these are things you need to consider. Are you going to be able to commit to this dog, for this dog to have a long, healthy, happy life with you for his whole life? Caring for a dog is a big financial investment. A lot of people don't realize this, and I had what I call a $20,000 doxy. I wrote an article for peoplelovinganimals.com. I'm going to give you the link to it. I'll show it to you right now. The article is called Is Pet Insurance Worth It for Dogs? And I talk about my $20,000 dachshund. Basically, I did not have pet insurance for her. She ended up having a whole bunch of health issues. And over the 6.5 years that I owned that dog, I adopted her from a shelter. She literally cost me $20,000 in vet bills. Now, that was, not normal. Most dogs don't have this many health problems. She had a bad back. She had dental issues. She had Cushing's disease. She eventually died from congestive heart failure. These are all very, very expensive things. But the thing, like I talk about, when you get a puppy, they're brand new. They don't have any health issues. But, what happens when they're 8 years old or 10 years old or 12 years old and they start having the health issues? Number one, are you going to be able to handle that? Are you going to be able to give the dog the time and attention they need? And also, are you going to be able to handle it financially? Now, and again, I'm not looking to scare anybody away from getting a dog. I just want you to know ahead of time. And when it comes to things like pet health insurance, I wish I would have known. I could have saved $20,000 literally on that dachshund. When I adopted that dachshund from the shelter, I should have purchased a pet health insurance policy. They start for as little as $10 a month. I wish I would have done that because the majority of those health expenses would have been covered and I could have saved myself a lot of money. But like I say, I'm going to give you a link to that article. Is pet insurance worth it for dogs? And I do recommend that you get pet insurance. And if you get a puppy, the policy is going to be cheaper. The younger they are, the cheaper the policy is. So get the policy when they're young. And I'm going to give you 2 recommendations from peoplelovinganimals.com on the insurance companies that we recommend. But other than medical expenses, your puppy's going to have vaccinations that they need as a puppy, and then they need every year. They're going to need even practical things like food bowls. They're going to need the leash. They're going to need a collar. If you're doing crate training, your puppy's going to need a crate. If you're going to need toys, you're going to need dog food. You're going to need a training program. These are all the things, that you're going to need for your puppy, and you have to consider, do you have the money for that? Can you afford that? Now, I'm going to give you also an article on the website, peoplelovinganimals.com, called How to Get Ready for a New Puppy, What to Do Before Bringing Your Puppy Home. And this actually has a printable list. You can sign up here. I'll email you an actual printable list of what you need for your puppy. And it's a nice article, and it tells you everything that you should be doing, from, you know, crates, just everything. It's going to give you a list of everything that you need for your puppy. And it's good to look at these articles that I'm giving you, because by the time you read these articles and you go through these lists, by the end of it, you're going to be really well educated, and you're going to be able to make a very informed decision about, should we get a puppy for Christmas? You know, should we get a puppy? Are we ready? So I'll give you the link to that as well. So again, you need to consider what the financial obligations are going to be. And again, it's not just when they're a puppy, but for their whole life. They're going to need food. They're going to need supplements. They're going to need treats. They're going to need toys. They're going to need flea, tick, and heartworm prevention. They're going to need annual vet checks. And not to mention the fact that if something happens, if your dog becomes ill, if your dog is injured, that can be very expensive when it comes to vet bills. So again, I highly recommend that you read my article, Is Pet Insurance Worth It for Dogs? There's a video in that, and I'll try to remember to link you right to the video too in the description box, where we talk about that, okay? Also, it is not fair to rely on your kids to care for the dog. You know, I think a lot of times when kids are begging for a puppy, whether it's for Christmas or any other time of the year, they're making all these promises. I promise I'll feed the dog. I'll clean up after the dog. I'll walk the dog. And, you know, the kids have good intentions. You know, they have good intentions, but they're kids. Are they really prepared for that responsibility? The kids probably don't have any idea what it's really like to care for a puppy, how much time that is. Are they really going to want to walk the puppy when they're being invited out to play with their friends? Are they going to want to, you know, walk the puppy and take the puppy outside every morning before school? Are they going to want to go out into the yard, especially in bad weather, and clean up all the poop? You know, the puppy's going to annoy them. You know, puppies can be very annoying, especially for the first 6 months. Are your kids gonna want that? Do you know what I mean? Like, after the newness and the fun of the puppy wears off, are your kids really ready for this responsibility? So you have to weigh that out, and that it's not okay to say, oh, I'll get the puppy, the kids will take care of it. They might not be old enough. They might not be ready for that kind of responsibility. And then guess what? The responsibility then falls on you. So I think you need to really consider that. Let's continue on. Next, your dog requires continuous training, love, and attention to live a happy and healthy life. And again, you're talking about the whole duration of the dog's whole life. They're going to need these things every single day for the next 10 to 15 years or more. This dog is going to need food and love and attention and care and walking. They're going to need training, you know. So you just need to realize that you have to think about the dog's entire life, and you want the dog to be happy and healthy. If you're not concerned with whether the dog should be happy and healthy, then you shouldn't be getting a dog. Okay? Let's continue on. I think we're almost done. Final note on, let's talk about the training. Doggy Dan talks about his puppy coaching program in this article. I'm going to give you the link to that. I'm going to give you this link to go directly to Doggy Dan's puppy program. As soon as you open this, you're going to see that there's a video from Doggy Dan. You'll be able to see him. You'll be able to meet him. It's a really nice issue talking about, or a nice video rather, talking about puppy training issues, talking about his program, talking about what sort of help you can get, you know, what sort of things is the puppy doing that you need training for, and so forth. So I'm going to give you this. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, Doggy Dan's puppy training program, well, his entire website, access to his entire website, you can get for $1 for 3 days. Okay, now he has more than 300 videos on his website, and what this is it's a video training program where you get to watch Doggy Dan. I'm going to get out of here because they keep popping up with this and it's annoying me. He has over 300 videos where you get to watch Doggy Dan. He's a professional dog trainer, but you get to watch him him training dogs. So he has the puppy training program. He has a program on his website called the Project Moses, and that is where he picked up his puppy Moses, a beagle puppy. He adopts him from a shelter when he's 8 weeks old, and he trains every week, him doing training with Moses up until Moses is a year old. In my mind, that's priceless. You know, to actually watch a dog trainer train his puppy from the time he picked up the puppy at 8 weeks old to the time the puppy is a year old. So I'm going to give you that link to the puppy training program. You're going to have access to all of that. You can sign up for $1 and have 3 whole days where you have access to the whole website. You can watch all the videos you want about puppy training. And then if you decide to go ahead with the membership to the Doggy Dan website, it's $37 a month. That's it. It's $37 a month, and you can stay in for as long as you want. If you want to just pay the $37 and spend the whole month in there and get all the puppy training videos and watch all the, you know, the Project Moses videos and go through the whole puppy, you know, coaching program, you can do it in a month, and then you cancel at the end of the month. Now, I do recommend, if you're getting a new puppy, Doggy Dan also has a 6-month membership. Darn, I can't remember how much it is. Shoot, I want to say it's $137 for 6 months. I can't remember, but you end up getting a deal. It's cheaper to get a 6-month plan than it is to pay the $37 a month. And I think 6 months is a reasonable amount of time, and that's a reasonable amount of money to invest in really effective puppy training that's going to set your dog up to be a well-behaved dog for the rest of their lives. And I say the 6 months because, you know what, when you have a new puppy, you have to cover everything. You have to cover, first and foremost, potty training. You have to cover, you know, them biting. You have to cover leash training. Where's your puppy going to sleep? How to get them to sleep through the night. Whining, biting, being destructive, like all things that puppies do. You need to train your puppy on every aspect of behavior. And so I do recommend that you get the 6-month membership. You're going to save a little bit of money with that. And then you and your family devote that 6 months to your puppy and say, hey, we have a 6-month membership to Doggy Dan. We're going to spend the first 6 months bonding with our new puppy. We're going to go through Doggy Dan's videos, and we're going to do this work with our puppy so that our puppy is happy and healthy for the rest of their lives, and you have a well-behaved dog for the rest of your life. I highly recommend that. But like I say, for $1, you can go in there and you can have 3 whole days to watch as many videos as you can watch in those 3 days. And you may decide to just get a 1-month membership and spend a month in there. But I really hope that you will, because there are so many myths about dog training. People make so many mistakes when it comes to dog training, when it comes to housebreaking and so forth. And what I have found from being familiar with Doggy Dan for the last 5 years is Doggy Dan's way is easier. It is easier. I have owned dogs my entire life. I've always thought of myself as an effective trainer. Like, okay, I know how to train the dog. No, you know, I am telling you, the stuff that Doggy Dan teaches in his videos, it's brilliant. It really is. And you know what? You might as well learn the right way right from the very beginning and train your puppy the right way right from the very beginning, because it's going to save you and your dog a whole lot of grief for the duration of the dog's life. So again, I'm giving you the links to all of this, okay? I'm also going to stop here to make this offer to you. In the description box of this video, you're going to see an opportunity where you can sign up. You can subscribe to my dog lovers email list. For peoplelovinganimals.com, I have a dog lovers email list and I have a cat lovers email list. If you sign up with the link I'm giving you in the description for the dog lovers email list, once you're on that list, about every 5 or 7 days, you get an email from peoplelovinganimals.com all about dogs, about the care of dogs, health issues for dogs, training issues for dogs, all about dogs. You can unsubscribe from that list at any time, but when you sign up with the link I'm giving you in the description box, I will send you Doggy Dan's free puppy training manual. He has a dog training manual. It's a PDF document. I'll give you immediate access to it for free, and you'll be able to kind of get an idea of some of the things that Doggy Dan can help you with. Okay, so go ahead and sign up for that free gift. I'd love to have you on board. And lastly, a final note on Christmas puppies: adopt, don't shop. You know, there are so many dogs that are sitting in a shelter right now, and you may decide not to get a puppy. You may decide to get an older dog. You might decide to get a 1, 2, 3-year-old dog. Doesn't necessarily have to be a puppy. Like I say, I don't want to discourage anybody from getting a puppy, but older dogs are a little bit easier to handle, especially if they're already housebroken. You might want to consider, and I can tell you, if your kids are begging for a puppy, if you brought home a cute little dog, if you brought home a full-grown adult golden retriever, guess what? They're going to be thrilled. Do you know what I mean? A dog is a dog. It's going to be fun. So you may just want to consider that. Now, I personally have had several rescue dogs from shelters. That little $20,000 Doxy, I adopted her from a shelter. I found her on petfinder.com, where you can search for the kind of dog you want in your area and everything. And she was a little miniature dachshund. And I drove to a city about an hour and a half from me to go pick her up. And even though I call her my $20,000 Doxy, I'd do it all over again. She was the love of my life. She was absolutely the love of my life. And if you've been here before, you've seen pictures of her in my videos. She was a doll. Oh, dogs are so worth it. They really are. They're all love. They give us so much joy. They give us so much happiness. They are so worth it. But I had her, and then before her, I had a Boston Terrier who I adopted. That dog became injured, and the family couldn't care for him, and I ended up adopting him. And then before that, I had another dachshund, another miniature dachshund named Maggie, who I literally picked up on the side of the road. She had been abandoned, and I saw her, and I picked her up, and I had that dog 11 years. And she was an adult when I got her. Okay, she was an adult when I got her, and then I had her for 11 years. So that dachshund was old. She lived a long time. But my point is, I personally think the shelter dogs and the adoptee dogs that you pick up because they're abandoned or they've been in a shelter, they're the most grateful. They're the most grateful. That little Taz, that little $20,000 dachshund, I remember when I picked her up from that shelter, she was flea bitten. She had mange. She had 2 abscessed teeth in her mouth that were so infected and so painful. She had all these terrible problems. And I remember bringing her home that night, and I had prepared for her, and I had went out, I bought dog food, I bought a little dog dish, I bought the little leash, I bought a little harness, and I bought her a nice little doggy bed, and I bought her some toys. And I just remember that little dog, I think they know instinctively that they've been rescued. I think they know, because she came in, and I'll never forget her hopping into that little doggy bed and grabbing those little toys. And I just felt like she was saying, I'm home. She was so grateful. If I gave that dog a toy, if I gave that dog a Cheerio, she was grateful. Do you know, she had come from a shelter where it was, dog eat dog, she had to fight for her food and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know. I just think the rescue dogs are the most grateful. I don't know. I just do. But so, like I say, consider that. There are animals right now that are in a shelter. They've been abandoned for whatever reason. Maybe they're one of a litter that was unexpected and the whole litter got dropped off. And like I say, you may want to consider an older dog and not a puppy. Really think it through, but really consider visiting your local SPCA and seeing if there is, a dog that you and your kids would just really, really like. And maybe instead of you going to a breeder and paying a bunch of money for a purebred something that you're going to put under the tree for your kids, why don't you wrap up a little box for your kids that has puppy toys in it? Let them open that. And then you tell them the gift is we're going this week to the SPCA and we're going to pick out a dog as a family. And go there as a family and see what dog resonates with your family. I don't know. To me, that's more special. Like, that's more special when you go and you pick the dog out as a family. And who knows what you'll end up with? Maybe you'll end up with a puppy. Maybe you'll end up with an older dog. Maybe you'll end up with a breed that's different than what you anticipated. I don't know. I'm just saying that could be a very special way to do it. let's see if there's anything else in this article. I think that's it. Okay, so that's Doggy Dan's article. I'm going to give you a link to this article. Okay, so you're going to be able to read the rest of it. You can get on here. Doggy Dan has a blog. You can read all kinds of stuff from him. I'm also going to give you this article from peoplelovinganimals.com called How to Choose a Dog Breed, Getting the Right Dog for You. And it talks about what sort of decisions that you can make. There's a printable checklist as well for some of the things you should think about. There's a video in there, checklist for choosing the right dog. And you have to think about things like, how big will the dog get? What kind of coat does this dog have? Will this dog fit into your lifestyle? You know, you have to consider the breed and whether it's the right dog for you. Again, I'm going to give you the article, Is Pet Insurance Worth It for Dogs? It contains my recommendations for pet health insurance. And my answer is yes. If you get a dog, please get pet health insurance. You won't regret it. It's a smart thing to do to protect your dog, to protect your finances. Okay. I'm also going to give you the article, How to Get Ready for a New Puppy, gives you a printed checklist of everything that you need for your puppy. And I'm also going to give you the link to go directly to Doggy Dan's puppy training. So thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited for you that you might be considering getting a new puppy for Christmas. And every time that a dog or a cat gets a home, it is the best Christmas gift there is. So again, I'm not making this video to discourage it. I'm just making this video so that you think it through. And I hope that you'll agree that after watching this video and reading the articles that I'm giving you and finding out about Doggy Dan's training, that the whole experience is going to be better for you, for your family, and for the dog. So again, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching. And I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like. It'll help YouTube to show this video to more people. And again, my name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.